video, I'm going to share with you how you can use the features and functionality in LiteracyPlanet to help make practicing spelling words more efficient and more fun. When you log into your LiteracyPlanet account, you're at the main screen here. And what I want to show you is what happens when you choose the icon at the top of the screen that's called My Words. It's also called My Lists. And this is where you add lists of your own words to practice rather than just working on the spelling practice. And it gives you a whole bunch of really great options. So you can add lists from your teacher or words that you've culled from your reading yourself that you want to learn, or whatever words it is that you want to practice. And you'll see your word list here. I've created one word list already called irregular plurals. And right now what I'm going to do is show you how to practice with a list that you already have. We'll come back and create another new list later. But I'm going to go ahead and practice on my irregular plurals here. So I'm going to choose this list. I'm going to click on the arrow. And as you can see, you have a ton of different games and options, activities that you can use to practice your spelling words. In fact, there are so many choices it can be kind of confusing. So what I'm going to do is share with you an approach that will help you build up your spelling skills in a brain-friendly way. So a good way to start, a good place to start, is with a game that helps you quickly recognize and distinguish the words on your list. So we're going to start not having to labor through trying to spell them, but simply just to recognize them. And for this, I recommend Feed Word Monster, Stubmonk Multiple Choice, Abracadabra, and Bubbles. Those are all really good ways to practice recognizing. So I'll just go ahead and do Feed Word Monster. All right, so let's go see Word Monster.
Feed Word Monster the word you hear. Feet.
Okay, so I see the word feet, and all I need to do is to recognize the word and feed it to Word Monster. Like that.
Men.
Okay, now I'm going to take the word men.
Mice.
And again, I just need to recognize mice and distinguish it from the other words to feed Word Monster.
Lice.
Okay, so I'm going to go back and I want to show you one more of these that are about recognizing. I'm going to go with Abracadabra and show you how that works. But this is another way, simply recognizing the words.
Crab, holding the word feet.
Okay, so I have all the words in front of me. I just have to find the word feet.
Men.
And men. So again, I can very efficiently, I think that was lice. Oops, must have been mice.
Lice.
Lice.
Children.
Okay, so as you can see, we're just recognizing the words and clicking on them when we hear them. Next, we can tackle a game that will help us remember groups of letters that form parts of the words on our list. And we're going to do that with Cloudmaker. So where is Cloudmaker? Here it is.
Join clouds to spell the words you hear. Feet.
So what we're going to have here is the beginning and end of the word. Every word is split into two parts. And so this is going to give us an opportunity to remember groups of letters that form words and put them together. So I'm going to choose the F-E and the E-T that go together to say feet.
Men.
Men. So I'm going to do M and N for men and put those together.
Mice.
So I want the M again. Oh, no, I don't. I want the my because I have a CE.
Lice.
Fantastic. Okay. So now what we're doing is we're getting really good at having a sense for the sounds in our words and how they group together in chunks that are perhaps easier to remember. Now, after that, a good next step would be to use one of the great games that helps us visualize and sequence the letters. And there are a couple, both Waterfall Words and Rocky Ruins are really good for this. And what we'll be able to do is to see all the letters that are in the word, and we then need to organize them in to spell the word, to make the full word, and get them in the right sequence.
Drag the stones to build the words you hear. Feet, as in my feet are cold.
Okay, yeah, my feet would be cold if I were in that cold waterfall water too. So I want that. Get the letters in the right sequence and check it.
Men, as in the men are sitting on the bench.
Okay, so now I spell men. So I'm seeing the letters and I just need to get them into the right order.
Mice, as in they.
So I'll let you practice your words. Now we're going to be ready for my favorite game, and it's called Card Calamity. Now in this one, we're not going to see the letters that are in we're not going to see all the letters that are in the word. We're going to be delivered the letters one at a time, and we need to visualize where in the word those letters go.
Spell the word by choosing where each letter belongs. Feet, as in my feet are cold.
Okay, so the T sound is the last, and the F is the first. And now I'm going to get the two E's, and of course I know that those go right in the middle.
Men, as in the men are sitting on the bench.
Okay, so I'll do the N, then I get the E, now I get the M.
Mice, as in there were mice.
So this is really a wonderful way to help us visualize the word and where each of the letters goes. Helps us create that stronger visual image of what that word looks like in our mind so that we have an easier time seeing it in our mind's eye, if you will, and then writing it later. So at this point, we've done a few different games, recognizing, getting the letters in the right order, and that kind of thing. And you may feel like you're ready to test yourself, and you can do that at any time with Battle Rocket. But if you're not quite sure, then you might want to take an intermediate step here. And if you need a little bit more support in terms of spelling the word completely independently, you might choose Word Jam and Jellypuss or Shipwreck Spelling. So I'll go ahead and show you Word Jam and Jellypuss. What's going to happen here is that we're going to be shown the word, and then it's going to disappear, and then we write it from memory.
Look at the word, say it, then write it for Jellypuss. Feet.
Okay, so it's gone now. Feet. I'm going to spell now feet. And check it. We'll do another word.
Men.
Men. And I'll check it. Now I'm going to show you what happens when we get one wrong.
Mice.
Okay, so I missed it on purpose here, but what it'll do if I get it wrong is it will show me the correct spelling. And so I can see that what my mistake was and hopefully remember it the next time. So at any rate, that's a way of another way of practicing those words before we are ready to take our spelling test, which we can really do with Battle Rocket. And when you're ready and you think you know them all, you're going to crush the monster. Quite literally, actually. So, this is one where we're going to hear a word.
Spell the words you hear to defeat Rocket. Feet, as in my feet are cold.
Okay, so I check it. Oh, and we're going to really tackle
Men,
Rocket.
as in the men are.
Get that monster.
Mice, as in there were mice in the cub.
All right, I think you get the idea. And if you get them all right, Rocket gets defeated. Okay, so now that I've shown you how to practice a word list, I want to show you how to use another fantastic feature of LiteracyPlanet to really power up your vocabulary and spelling ability. So I'm going to choose a different icon at the top, the one with this little eye, which will take us to an online magazine called Intrepizine. Intrepizine is the magazine for intrepid readers. If you don't know what the word intrepid means, I encourage you to look it up, but it means that you're brave and daring and ready for a challenge. And in Intrepizine, there's some wonderful articles. They're designated as to the level of difficulty by color. So those that are marked with blue are the more advanced articles. Orange are intermediate, and green are the most basic, the least challenging. But they're all really, really interesting, as you can see. We can have the different types of football, treasure hunting, beautiful fruits, things that look like other things. That's pretty interesting. Why we don't own big cats, why we admire eagles. So lots of opportunities to learn about interesting things and to practice our reading skills. But what we're going to do now is we want to focus on developing some vocabulary. And I've decided that I want to learn a little bit about calligraphy. So I'm going to choose this article and have it come up. And I'm just going to read a little bit of it so that you can get a bit of a sense for it. I'm just going to scan through it. You can see that there's lots of colorful and very interesting images that help explain it, as would be very appropriate for calligraphy. And calligraphy is the art of writing letters. For those of us who think simple letter formation isn't good enough, or writing a letter should be an art form, then we need to look no further than the most ancient form of letter writing, known as calligraphy. While this slow and measured way of writing takes time, its result is simply breathtaking. Letters that seem to flow through each word create masterful words, sentences, and awe-inspiring paragraphs. What is calligraphy? Calligraphy is the art of decorative handwriting or lettering with a pen or brush. Centuries old, it's an ancient and beautiful art form and unique form of self-expression. Okay, so now I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom. If you're interested, I hope you will read the rest of this article. It has some very interesting information and facts about calligraphy. And what I want to show you at the bottom is a couple of really nice features. First one is that there's some questions that can prompt some good discussion and check your understanding of what you've read. But the other thing is that there is this list of vocabulary. So there may be some words in here that I didn't know before, didn't know how to spell. Maybe calligraphy, maybe this word graffiti, the word breathtaking. Maybe I never used that in my own writing, but a pretty cool word, something that's really takes your breath away because it's so spectacular. What a wonderful word to use in your own writing. Or the word intertwine. That means they connect and move through each other. So what I can do, either I can collect my own words, of course, or what I can do is to take this wonderful list of key vocabulary right from the bottom here, and I can use these in my words to build my vocabulary. So I'm going to show you how to use those words and to create a list at the same time. So we're going to go back to my words, called my lists here, and we're going to create a new list by clicking on this little blue button with the plus sign. And maybe we'll call this list calligraphy. Why not? Okay. And then all we need to do to create this word list is type the word into the box. And the first word that was on the list of key vocabulary was formation. So I'm going to add that word. And they're all built into LiteracyPlanet with a sentence. So the aircraft flew in a tight formation. The word calligraphy itself, that's one we want to learn how to spell because it's such a cool thing. Breathtaking, that was a word we really liked. We'd like to be able to use that in our own writing. How about the word intertwine? And maybe one more, masterful. We like to be masterful when we get really good at something. Okay, so I have to have at least 4 words to create a list. Now I've got 5. So I'm just going to go ahead now and save this list. And now I can use this list or any of the others to practice. And I can use that same approach that we took before. To start with recognizing words and then moving up into more challenging, where we learn to spell the words and become really good at them. Thanks for watching this video. We hope it will help you master your spelling challenges in less time and with games that make it really fun. Visit Intrepizine regularly for new articles that will help you add to your vocabulary with interesting words that you can practice and start to use in your own writing.